Audiobook Academy. Book Summary. Anna Karenina. By Leo Tolstoy. The central theme of Anna Karenina, a novel with a contemporary thematic, is Anna's infidelity, for which she is shunned by society and met with a tragic end. We also follow the story of Anna and Vronsky's toxic love, as well as Levin and Kitty's story of selfless love. Tolstoy set the story in Russia in the late 1870s, but the stories of the characters, despite sharing a setting, are independent of one another and serve just as a commentary on one another. Madame Bovary is often likened to this novel because of its focus on questions of approved and unaccepted male and female behavior in society. Aside from the central issue, both stories contain several heartwarming moments, one of which is the miserable woman character who is punished after finding happiness. He uses a third-person narrator who knows everything, comments on occurrences, and serves as an intermediary between characters and readers like Flaubert. There are just a few major events in the book, thus each family serves as a supporting character in the story. Tolstoy presents a few additional themes, such as happiness, sadness and fortune-poverty, that can be separated into pairs. The couples referred to focus on two people in particular, who take on opposing roles in the lives of their respective partners. Levin, on the other hand, is modest and longs for a happy family life, while Anna represents the upper crust of society. In addition to the ring structure that connects the chapters, this work is notable for its parallel plotlines. Differentiation and clashes, such as Levin's desire for Kitty and the love he has for Vronsky's Anna, underlie the rings. The topic of adultery recurs at the novel's conclusion, as it did at the beginning. Despite the fact that there is a plot, the question stays unanswered. With time, the differences between Levin and Anna narrow, and the love between Kitty and Levin, despite being regarded as unselfish and pure, encounters problems. The novel's conclusion raises the topic of whether or not a happy family is possible. Even though the marriage exists only on paper, Anna Karenina is a crisis novel because it explores the hypocrisy and judgmental culture that allows any sort of adultery as long as the marriage remains intact, even if the spouses have drifted apart for one another for a very long time now. The story opens with Anna's arrival at Steva Oblonsky's house, where she is staying with her brother. Dolly, Kitty's sister, is Steva's wife. Dolly found out about her husband's infidelity, and the family has been shattered by the revelation. Steva is eagerly anticipating the arrival of Anna, who he considers to be a lifesaver. Convinced her to forgive her husband, she persuaded Dolly. Anna is a well-liked member of the community. All the people she came into contact with were charmed by her outgoing personality. She cared deeply about her nephews and her son, and she was adept at resolving conflict. Levin was a landowner with little resources who took great pleasure in tending to his property. Infatuated with Kitty, the beautiful daughter of a wealthy nobility, he planned to propose to her in the near future. Levin returned to Moscow, dissatisfied, to devote his time and energy to his work and assets. To Kitty's annoyance, Vronsky was not interested in a marriage when he met her. After falling over heels for her during a ball, Kitty is left in a state of despair. She should be taken out of Russia for a time so that her parents can go on a vacation with her. In Germany, Kitty was able to get her life back on track, forget about Vronsky, and meet new people. Once again Levin went out looking for her and proposed. They got married when he accepted her proposal. Despite Levin's insecurities and jealousy, the marriage remained stable and long-lasting. Whilst tending to the needs of Levin's critically ill brother Nikolai, Kitty displayed tremendous compassion and inner courage. Having a son made Kitty even more content. After the marriage, Levin is portrayed to be a character who is continuously searching for himself. He had confidence in God, but deep down he knew that she was the one who could solve his issues. Both Anna and Vronsky have very distinct personalities. Alexei Alexandrovich Karenin, a government administrator, is Anna's husband. Cold and loveless, their relationship was. The logical and ironic nature of her husband's persona repulsed Anna. Anna flees to Moscow after Count Vronsky declares his love for her, but he pursues her and they see each other every day. Because of the rumors going about, Anna's husband found out about them. He pleaded with Anna to keep their connection under wraps in order to avert a public scandal, but she paid no heed. Several days before the horse race, Anna informed Vronsky that she was pregnant with his child. He was on the verge of passing out from joy when he heard the good news, and Anna's astonished reaction revealed her affections for him. As they drive back home, Anna confesses that she is married, but her husband refuses to divorce her. He doesn't want Vronsky to visit Anna in their house. Vronsky tries to persuade Anna to leave her husband for months on end. In her postpartum delirium, Anna begs her husband for forgiveness after giving birth to a daughter. When Vronsky learned that he had accepted her and her infant, he attempted to shoot himself out of astonishment. Anna resolves to flee with Vronsky while they're both getting better. Despite her love for their son, her husband refuses to let his mother to take the girl. They relocated to Italy, where Anna is now content in her new relationship. After a period of time, her pain for her son grows so great that she returns to Russia. As soon as she arrived at her former house, Vronsky escorted her to the child's room where she learned that her son had been told she was dead. Because of her current predicament, Anna isn't the most popular person in Russian society. Despite the fact that Vronsky was a powerful man as a result of their relationship, they continued to live extravagantly and luxuriously on his estate in the hamlet. When Vronsky notices that the girl has the surname Karenin, he asks Anna to file for divorce from her husband. He's also thinking more and more about the sacrifices he made for Anna, including his work and personal life. Anna becomes increasingly possessive, jealous, and seeks her old life, her kid, and her social status. Her hysteria escalates, and she resorts to morphine late at night to calm herself down. When she is depressed, she takes her own life by jumping in front of a moving train. In the wake of her death, Vronsky lives an empty existence. He eventually applied to join the Serbian-Turkish conflict as a volunteer. There are two kinds of love in the tale. Love between Kitty and Levin is built on trust, while the stormy and profound love between Anna and Vronsky is based on selfishness. For Anna's adultery, even if it wasn't considered a major offense in those days, it had to be kept a secret. Her relationship with Vronsky wasn't hidden because Anna was honest and couldn't pretend to be someone she was. She commits suicide as a result of the social pressure she is under. Anna Arkadyevna Karenina is the main character of the novel. Despite her good looks, brains, and intelligence, she's a softie who allows her emotions get in the way of her decisions. Tolstoy asks himself a question because of the weakness she had shown him: are Anna's acts truly her own? How do you hold someone accountable for their emotions? Anna was well aware that she would be excommunicated from society and her acts would be judged regardless of whether she was happy in her marriage or not when she realized she was in love with Vronsky. The price she was willing to pay in order to experience true love was worth it to her. While it is a love rejected by society, she didn't want to be a secret lover, hide her love, or pretend to be loyal to her spouse. In spite of her activities, she had a higher moral standard in comparison to the other woman, because she took full responsibility for her conduct without faking morality in order to preserve her social standing. In Tolstoy's novel, she is depicted as a powerful character who is difficult to assess because of her strong ideals. If the character of Anna had been painted in a bad light from the outset, it might be simpler to ignore the fact that she met a tragic end. Because Alexei's decision to leave Alexei for Vronsky looked normal and human to her, she is presented in a way that can win over any reader. It's for this reason that Anna comes across as a hero rather than a bad guy. The situation changes over time, and sincere feelings are replaced by jealousy and misgivings that cause misery. After a period of nervousness and self-centeredness set in, Anna began to believe that she deserved nothing more than to die. It wasn't society's judgment of her that ultimately drove her to take her own life, rather, it was her own inner turmoil. Levin is a landowner who, like Anna, is described as a man of strong character who, until he meets Kitty, feels that the purpose of human existence is to bring him happiness. It becomes clear to him that happiness isn't always enough to complete a life. Kitty will be safe in his arms, but she won't experience the same level of passion and romantic arousal that she did with Vronsky. Levin is a guy who understands that he can't be happy when so many others around him are sad, when noblemen live like parasites and peasants go hungry. That happiness can't be attained by only looking out for ourselves and not looking out for others as well, he understood when he rose to the physical level. Vronsky is a young, attractive official who leads a carefree life until he meets Anna. From being a carefree individual to becoming a loving parent, he had a transformation in his character as a result of falling in love and becoming responsible for a child. Even though he is in love with Anna, he worries about his work because he has been putting it on the back burner. Because Anna misses the son she had with her husband, her inner turmoil begins to influence their relationship. Anna commits herself by jumping in front of a train, while Vronsky returns to his former life and joins the Serbian-Turkish conflict. Even if there is no direct relationship between Anna's suicide and Vronsky's actions, it is impossible to deny that he had a hand in her tragic demise. He experiences a variety of emotions as he moves through various stages of life. His shame stems from the promise he made about love's eternality that he was unable to fulfill. The urge to be an ordinary man for a split second won out over the absence of affection in the end. As Vronsky reverted to his former personality, Anna grew increasingly enraged and realized how much she had become his burden. Kitty is one of the aristocrat's 3 Moscow-born daughters. Her father, who likes Levin, doesn't approve of her feelings for Vronsky, but her mother does. She rejected Levin's proposal since she was still waiting for Vronsky to propose. Kitty was determined to reject Levin after Vronsky rejected her because of his love for Anna, because of the insecurities she had towards him. Kitty became a more stable and compassionate person after spending time outside of Russia, and she demonstrated this by taking care of Levin's brother Nikolai following their marriage. Innocent Kitty's beauty couldn't compare to Anna's that attracted Vronsky. In contrast to Anna, Kitty was born with a destiny to be a faithful wife. Kitty grew up from a young child to a beautiful woman throughout the course of time. Russian author Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy was born in 1828. One of the best writers of realistic fiction of his day, Tolstoy was an insightful social and moral thinker. Tolstoy was orphaned at the age of 9 and educated primarily by teachers from France and Germany. While attending Kazan University as an undergrad, he immediately felt disillusioned with his studies and dropped out soon after. After a brief and unsuccessful attempt to ameliorate the living conditions of his estate's serfs, he sank into Moscow's high society and frolicked. Tolstoy first saw Cossacks in the Caucasus in 1851, when he enlisted in his brother's military. His work The Cossacks was released in 1863 and depicted the natural Cossacks' lives with empathy and artistic reality. During his stay in the regiment, Tolstoy wrote 2 autobiographical books, both of which were immediately successful. At the time, Tolstoy was concerned about the education of the peasants and founded an elementary school in St. Petersburg, now Leningrad. In 1862, he married Sofia Andreevna Bears, an 18-year-old daughter of a wealthy Moscow family, at the age of just 18. A huge family was reared by him during the next 15 years. War and Peace, 1869, and Anna Karenina, 1871, were both written when he was managing his land, 1877. Tolstoy began his long path toward moral and social conviction in Confession, a work that was both frank and forceful. In the Christian Gospels, he found them in the principles of love for all people and resistance against evil. Tolstoy courageously criticized social inequity and repressive forms of government and church power from within despotic Russia. Many people from all areas of life came to Russia to seek his assistance after reading his didactic pieces, which were translated into many languages. Tolstoy left his home one night in the middle of the night at the age of 82, driven away by the growing gap between his teachings and his own personal fortune, as well as his wife's incessant whining. He fell ill 3 days later and died at a remote railway station on November 20, 1910. When he died, people all around the world hailed him as an exemplar of morality. Today, that power and his timeless and universal art continue to provide inspiration for us. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.